Alright, what is up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be going over some of my random games on the sim. Some of these games are a little bit older, you can tell because I don't have the it's using my old overlay. But we're just going to kind of check out some games from Black, Yellow, Linlin. This first game is against Bello Betty. Let me pause it real quick and then we'll get back into it. And I'm kind of just using today's video as just a way to dump all of my saved sim games. I've got about 7. We're going to go through all of them at 2x speed, just kind of chat over it and just talk One Piece. So, okay, let's go ahead and dive into it. And I'm using all kinds of different versions, all kinds of different versions of Black, Yellow, Linlin in these videos today, or in the video today, excuse me. But I think primarily it's going to be the Big Mom Pirates version with a few cards switched out here and there. So as you can see there, I got a Sanji trigger, throwing out 6 cost, trashing my Sakazuki because I have another one in hand if I need it. But I'm on an awkward 5 Dawn turn. But at the same time, that's perfect for Gidatsu, and I do actually have the Gidatsu here. So just a super aggressive start for me, and I take full advantage of it. I know against Bello Betty, my Gidatsu will pretty much always have some type of value at around 2 life. So once I've played him on turn 3, and I've taken out a 2 or a 1 cost, well, that's pretty much all I needed from him, if that makes sense. And Bello Betty, okay, he's going to swing in big here. Bello Betty's the kind of matchup where sometimes you should go aggressive, sometimes you should go defensive. I think it really just depends. And I think it is more of a gamble to go aggressive like I did. But when I saw I got the Sanji trigger, it was like, you know what? We're going all in, you know. And that's just kind of the way cards are. It really depends on what deck you're running, on what you get, especially in the case of triggers, which are totally unpredictable. You kind of have to play to whatever your, to whatever advantage you can have. Okay, so he's playing out Bello Betty, gets a Searcher. My turn, get Cracker. So here I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll just gobble up his board, right? We'll just eat this, we'll eat this. I'm at 3 life. I play the 7-lin here because I'm pretty sure he's going to... Okay, I was pretty sure he was going to give me a life, but what ended up happening is he ended up taking a life. And it's like, okay, whatever you play next turn, I'm just going to wipe off the board with Sakazuki, and I'm going to swing for 5, 7, 9. You know, unless you can take out my whole board, obviously that's different, and establish a blocker, you know, it's kind of hard to pull off. And I do have a 1k counter in hand, so I can counter out of this Gidatsu attack if needed. But he gets a Sabo, which is really nice here. But again, how are you going to block a, basically a 15k attack? Because I think I'll be at 9. I think I'll be at 9 Dawn next turn, yeah. So 9 plus 8, excuse me, a 17k attack. You don't have a blocker, you're not getting out of it. The game's over. And I'm pretty sure this person just concedes here. Okay, yep, they do. So we will do this, pause, and let's go to the next one. So the next game we got up here is a Blurple, whoops, I paused it. Blurple Crocodile. How interesting is that? And, Blurple Crocodile now does have the purple, the 8-cost purple Crocodile character, which can let them gain a life. So there is something to be said there. I think there is some potential in that, to be honest. So it's okay. Again, I've been trying. One of the reasons I like this version of Black, Yellow, Linlin is it is just hyper aggressive. Like if you need to, you can play defensively. That is always an option because of the way your leader effect works. Okay, they play out a what's it called, Miss Golden Week. Yeah, Miss Golden Week. So now my Parasparrow can't attack. He's slowing me down a little bit. Not too worried about it though, right? And then I get a Parasparrow trigger from life. So again, if you're playing aggressive with a deck with triggers like this, you need to take life aggressively, and that way you can use your triggers if you get them. Okay, let's see if he gets any trigger here. He does. He gets a Miss All Sunday, excuse me, but not super effective here because he doesn't get to 6 Dawn with her effect to draw the card. So he did at least establish a 5k body. It's 100% that's better than nothing. So then he can actually take out my Parasparrow. Because I'm just going to 1k counter out of this if I can defend it with 1, if he only has 1 attack. So I say, okay, you know what, I'm going to make you commit to it, and I still might save it, right? But I don't. And so I get the pudding. That's all I could get from those 3 options. And now he drops a 3-cost Miss All Sunday. My board versus his, I'm just overwhelming him at the time. So I'm not too concerned. Drop down Pudding. Let's see what I got coming up. Okay, I can get a Sanji or a Cracker in this situation. So, honestly, the only reason I even run Cracker is because he's a 4-cost 5k trigger come into play for 1. Trash a card, play this card. Okay, this guy defends his Miss All Sunday here. The 5-cost one, obviously. So I'm like, okay, well, in that case, we are just going to get it for sure now, because I swing 5 into, or I think I swung 5 into it, swing 7 into it. I only need 4 Dawn left to play Sanji. Let's see if he wants to give me a 2k counter here, which I'll take gladly, and he does. And then I'm going to go super aggressive here. 5k into it, or excuse me, 6k into the Miss All Sunday. It's like, no, you're gonna, like I said, you're either gonna give me every single card in your hand, or this card, or you're giving me the board. And in that situation, that's the only reason I would suggest doing that. I got bored versus, I was able to, I have full control of the board right now, right? I have a Gidatsu on the board, a Parasparrow, a Pudding. I just have everything I need. He attacks my Parasparrow, which I'm happy with because that card basically replaces itself. I think he honestly should have attacked my Gidatsu and then made it where my Parasparrow couldn't attack with the Miss Golden Week he just played. But honestly, it barely matters. It's like, okay, in this situation, I'm going to gobble up what I can of his life. He gives me a 2k. And I'm just going to drop a 7-lin. Do you want to give me a life or are you going to lose a life? He gives me a life, which is probably the right call. Let me see. Do I not have this on 2x speed? Oh, sorry, guys. I got to put on 2x speed every time. Whenever you bring up a new media player, whatever. Okay, so he plays out the 8-cost Crocodile. Swing 6 at life. Counter out for 2. And I'm just in I'm in a commanding position in this game. If he knew, I wonder if he drew into that 8-cost Crocodile, because if he knew he was getting that, he should have trashed the life so he could gain a life instead of giving me a life. But I don't even remember now. I don't remember it. I think he gave me a life. Oh, well. Either way, you drop Linlin. He needs to remove it with a red rock if he has one. If not, this game is pretty much a wrap. Okay, swing 9 into Gidatsu. I'm like, I can counter out of that, so I might as well. Since I have an 8k on the board, a 12k, and 4 life. Sure, I'm not going to need these counters from my life anytime soon. So why don't I just use it to save my character here? Okay, I can't block that one, or I can't counter out of that one, obviously. However, he only has 1 life and 1 blocker with 3 cards in hand, and I'm about to play a Linlin here to remove his last life, and now it's going to be a 5, 8, 12 attack. There's basically no way out of it. So he 6k counters out of the 5k. Now it's going to be an 8k. He can't get out of this one. So, well, actually, if he could have gotten out of that one, the game would have gone on 1 more turn. If he had a Blast Breath in hand, the game would have gone on 1 more turn. But, obviously, there's no way out of it from here. Desert Spada, and you win. Okay. Next game. Again, guys, we're kind of just zipping through some of these games from the sim. Just fun games here. I almost forgot to put the speed up again. So, 2x speed. All right, we're playing. And this is against a Katakuri. Katakuri has always been a challenge. By the way, I could have chosen a Parasparrow there, but I already have one in hand. I'd rather just have the Linlin. Because let me explain. Against Katakuri, one of the biggest problems is whoever can establish the Linlin sooner or follow up Linlins on Linlins on Linlins. Like, whoever can play the most of them or establish them sooner is kind of just the way that's the way this matchup goes. And one reason I really like the Big Mom Pirates version of the deck is I can actually compete against Katakuri because I'm playing the exact same deck as him, right? Like, we have all the same leader locked effects that we can run, and we have all the same, we both run the 10-cost Linlin. We have the Parasparrow package. Well, this guy's actually running some kind of Sky Island variant, which was pretty good, I'm not going to lie, because that Gidatsu, that popped my Parasparrow. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Wait, how did I get that Parasparrow, guys? Did I get that from a life trigger? I think I got it from a life trigger, guys. Sorry, I kind of missed it. I'm just kind of using this video today to talk about some matchups. Just kind of use the footage that I recorded from the sim and just try to get some value out of that kind of deal. So he tries to go super aggressive here, but that's kind of easy to punish. Okay, so 2 into Ashura. Go ahead and defend that if you want to. He's not going to. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go 6 into Gidatsu and 6 into Gidatsu here. Because I'm just going to follow up with a Gidatsu of my own that's going to take out his Holy. And remember, in order for Ohm to be a 4-call 6K like you want him to be, well, the only way to do that is if you're at 2 life or less. So, right now that's literally just a 4-calls 5K. Not worried about it. Okay, so I'm thinking a little bit here, but I think the obvious play is just to swing, swing 7 at the Gidatsu because I have 1 extra Dawn for the turn. He gives me a 2K, sure. I'll pop the Holy, like I said, or the Holy, whatever it is, like I said. Your turn. We're both at 3 life. Now, he does get another Gidatsu there, and like I said, I think this Katakuri list, where it has the support from Sky Island, is pretty nice. It's pretty good. So 5K, I can easily counter out of that. He's going to swing 8 with Gidatsu here. He should have swung for 6 and 7, in my personal opinion. But I think the result ended up being the exact same. Okay, so swing 5 here. Again, I'm just going to eat up whatever cards are in his hand. Okay, swing 6 here. Give me another 2K for that. And I'm going to play Linlin. And look at this. Now, this was lucky, no doubt. I got a Linlin out of his life with my Linlin. Right? So that was just very fortunate, very convenient. However, he's still in this game. This game is not over, right? He's in a very good position here. Swing 7 into my 6. I'm going to 2K counter out of this, and then I'm gonna let him have it here, obviously, because I can't defend it. So I was able to stop a 7K and a 6K attack coming at my life with that Gidatsu, which is nice. So looking back, I think I should have actually used that to draw a card. Okay, and then I get a Sanji trigger from life. Very nice. You can have a life here, buddy. Okay, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, how aggressive do I want to go here? It's like, nah, there's no point going aggressive. You can have a life. All right, I get a Sanji for the draw, and I have a Linlin down. Right, like I'm just not super concerned here. I'm just gonna try to eat his board up. I can swing 7 into his Ohm because his Ohm's now a 5K, right? Because he gained a life. So I'm gonna swing 7 and gain a life by trashing Sakazuki. And then I'm just going to, like I said, I'm just going to try to eat up his board. Like, all right, I'm going to play out my Sanji here. So I'll swing 7 at your Gidatsu. Let's see if you have another 2K. He does. Well, I've got another blocker. Works out just fine. Okay. So he's going to swing 7 here. I've got a blocker. I think he's going to go at face. Yeah, he's going to try and attack face here. I get another Sanji, but I don't think I can afford this. Looking back, I don't think I should have played it out, but who knows? Maybe it was the right call to just become more and more aggressive. Because, the logic here is, okay, if I have to take this... okay, so I guess it ended up not mattering, because I could have just trashed... Oh, I took the life there, wow. Oh, because he had 8 Dawn left. Sorry, guys, I am kind of getting distracted just talking. But he had 8 Dawn left, so I said, okay, he's going to Katakuri me. So I'll go ahead and take a free life here, and look at the life that I got, by the way. It was another Linlin. Swing 12 into 8. No way he's getting out of that one. And look at that, guys. Another one of my Linlin, effects here got rid of his Charlotte Linlin. Okay, I swing 5 at life. He counters out for 6. He probably should have taken that. It's kind of hard to say, guys. It's kind of hard to say, especially if you're not in the game and you're not, we're not in the minds of the players. Like, yes, of course, I know what's going through my thoughts. What's going through my mind because I'm actually the player. But yeah. That was a dangerous turn, by the way. Playing down the Linlin, it was basically my only chance, but I knew I was going to get a blocker. Okay, so I'll just block out of that, and I'll take this last life and play the Sanji. But because I knew I had a blocker coming down, it was worth trying. But if he had like 200 million volts of Maru and a Thunderbolt, I'm just dead there. Or double 200 million volts, I'm just dead. Okay, swing 6 at life, I think is what it was. Swing 7 at life. It's going to be swing 6, swing 7, and then I think swing 8. But then when I saw that he had nothing, it's just over. So it was like, okay, technically I think I should have swung 8 with what's her name there with Pudding, but we got the job done either way. Okay, let's go on to the next game. Next game, we got the volume on somehow. There we go. All right, this one's against Rebecca. Very, very interesting Rebecca game here. So, at the time of me recording this video, I think it was the last video I did was a Rebecca list from OP06, technically OP06.5, because there's stuff from the new EB set coming out. Okay, he gets rid of my smoothie. I think Rebecca could be really good in OP06, and technically, like I said, maybe we might have to wait till OP06.5, but I think Rebecca's going to be nice, guys. You're going to get like a Gecko Moria, Rebecca, obviously the 4-cost Rebecca we already know about, you know, Kairos, and this new card named Scarlet. Oh my goodness, guys. It's like a 2-cost card, so you can get it with Gecko Moria. Activate main, trash this card, you don't even have to rest it. -2 to a character, and you play out a 3-cost from your hand. So you can just throw out Kairos, hit a 3 or less. It's so good, guys. Okay, so he's playing Riku and everything. He is swinging in here for 8. This is a pretty aggressive version of... what's his name? Or what's her name? Rebecca here. Decides to trash a life card, which maybe, I don't know if that's the right call or not against, you know, against any kind of yellow deck. Okay, so he's going to swing 7 into my Sakazuki here. I'm like, well, no, I'm going to have to go ahead and counter out of that because that's an issue. Okay, I think he used his leader's effect there. Swing 6. We'll just 2K counter out of that. And I just drop a Linlin. I say, okay, you know, since you're going to be like that, we're going to be like that, right? And this is what I was saying. I don't know if it was actually the smartest play to take a life from my 7-Lin. Because against yellow, you know you're going to lose life cards. So if you can prevent it by giving your opponent 1 life, why not just give it to him? Because generally speaking, now, like I said, this was a very aggressive Rebecca list. However, you know, generally speaking, what Rebecca wants to do is just go to the late game. Okay, did this guy mess up here? I'm wondering. Yeah, I think he had to have messed up here a little bit because he could have gone 7 and Rebecca. Oh, I don't know. I think he meant to do -3 to the 7-Lin so that he could KO it with like with a what's he called, a Kairos or something. But I'm not actually sure what happened there. That was definitely just a play mistake from my opponent. It is what it is. It happens, right? That's the best thing about the sim, I have to say. The absolute best thing about the sim, I think I'm just going to math him out of the game here. Yeah, it's just going to be 9, 9, 9, 12. Like, you're going to give me everything you have here or you're just going to lose. But that's the nice thing about the sim, right? Is you get to practice. If you make a mistake, literally who cares? It doesn't even matter. Okay, so I think I do, yeah, 11 here, and then it's going to be 13. I didn't put I should have put 1 extra Dawn in there, but didn't matter. We got the job done. Pause. Next game. We're just kind of blitzing through these games, guys. Like I said, I didn't even have that last game on 2x speed. I just realized that. Or I don't think, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I can't remember. So this is not a great hand. Okay, but then I draw into a pudding, which is nice. But it's a total whiff with pudding. And I just lost 2 Ganatsus, a Suru, and I think what was it, a Sakazuki. That was a less than ideal situation. Red Purple Law, I don't know. I have conflicting views on it. It will always depend on the pilot, and it will always depend on how aggressive my draw will be with Black Yellow Linlin. But, oh, nice. And what kind of triggers I get. That'll always matter. Yeah, we'll go ahead and trash a card here. Probably should have trashed the... Oh, I trashed the Borsellino because he can just bottom deck, right? That, like, what's it say? Law, Red Purple Law can literally just bottom deck cards. So Borsellino, it doesn't matter that he's a unKOable character. All right, so swing 5. He counters out. See, he probably should have taken that. But I guess he is kind of starting to get a little concerned with, like, okay, dude's got a lot of characters on the board. I don't have any. Excuse me. So maybe, but I don't know. I think he still should have done something to get out of that. And as usual, guys, you know, with the sim, who knows the skill level of these players? Who knows what kind of jank they're trying? You know, they're probably trying new cards out, you know, new combinations. Okay, so one thing he just did here was Fire Fist. Fire Fist does not actually have a ton of synergy with red purple law, because it only costs 2. So if you're trying to combo it with the leader's effect, you're not going to be able to get the full value out of just using that. Now, yes, it's still very good, and you could just see what he just did there. Just play out your cards for the turn. Excuse me. Do this, that, and the other, and here we go. I'm like, oh, cool. I got a cracker trigger. 2K counter out of that to save Sabo, and I'm just going at this guy. And like I said, as you can see with this version of Black Yellow, it can be pretty aggressive, guys. I'm literally just going toe-to-toe with this guy, so to speak. So I'm like, all right, I'll tell you what. I should have swung first, by the way, but I wanted to, okay, once I saw he took the life, I said, okay, now I'm just going to go all in. But if he had given me the life, I would have probably sat back on my blocker. Okay, but then he gets that trigger. That changes things. I'm like, didn't expect that. And then I see him trash a Diable Jambe. It becomes a hard decision. But long story short, I'm not too concerned with this board. And if he wants to attack my board and give me another turn, that's fine as well. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he could potentially go lethal here, you know, with the right combination of cards in hand and the right combination of attacks on the board. But I do have a 2K, so I'm pretty sure I can get out of one attack. I'm like, yeah, I should be fine attacking with my blocker. Because if he wants to get my blocker out of the way, he's going to do that. So he's at 0 life. He's at 0 life here, guys. He has to win this turn, or at least gobble up enough of my board to survive, which is not undoable for red-purple law. Okay, plays, but that's not really the play you want. Okay, and he just surrenders after that. Yeah, that was not a... What other options did he have here? He only had 5 Dawn, because he got 1 Dawn from the Miss All Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe so. I could be wrong about that. Whatever the case is, I think playing out maybe he could have jet pistoled here, attack, you know. Yeah, I would have gotten these cards off the board to keep going, but I think he just decided, you know what, how am I supposed to survive next turn? And he's right. It would have been very hard to survive next turn because I would have swung for 9 here and whatever else here. Okay, next game. Next up, we have a red-purple Luffy game. I don't know if I already did this one or not. Let me put on 2x speed. All right, there we go. Again, I don't remember if I've done whichever game or not. Sorry, guys. So he plays out Nami. I didn't see what he searched up. I just dropped out a Parasparrow. I can't swing 5 into 6, so I just take it. Here I get a 2K counter. You got to be careful taking life aggressively against red-purple Luffy, because they just have a lot of really big characters that can sneak up on you. Okay, it ramps Dawn very effectively. He's at what is he at? He's at 6 now after using that. After using the 7-cost kid. He attacks me. I take it. I get a trigger with Parasparrow. I do run 12 triggers in this deck. 4 Parasparrows, 4 Sanjis, and 4 Crackers, I think. I might have gone down to 2 Crackers in some versions, but generally speaking, I run about 10 to 12. All right, so I played down the 7 Lin, by the way, and he gave me a life. Okay. So I'm like, all right, I need to start making some progress here. His leader's at 9,000 power right now, so it's actually easier and more efficient to attack into this Eustace kid, this 7-cost kid. So it's like, okay, I guess that's what we'll do. Okay, swing 8 and 8. I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm just going to, you know, sometimes that's just your best option. And he figured out, he said, oh, okay, so he's just going to swing 8 2 more times. You know what I mean? So he just, but by the way, if he did have the option to counter out there, it probably would have been worth it in some ways, because then I would not be able to establish more cards on the board here. And notice what I just established, a Sabo. Now he can't KO any of my characters other than in battle, obviously. So it's, there's pros and cons. You got to really weigh out what you need to do here. So he's swinging 9, or he's swinging 6, and he's swinging 10. So he's obviously going to play 10-cost Luffy here, or I'm pretty sure. Which, if that is the case, that's still done in the incorrect order, because what he could have done here was, okay, swing with a Newgate like he did, then you use the leader effect to get to use the Luffy effect, and you can swing for 7. But you know, again, I could have countered out of that if I needed to. Okay, he did it correctly that time, but he's technically... Yeah, no, he did all that correctly. And now he has 4 Dawn, 2 attacks. I have 2 life. I'm going to 2K out of that. If he's going to give me that, I'm always going to 2K out of that. He attacks. I get a cracker trigger here. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do this thing. So he has more life than I do, right? So my cracker technically can be a 6K. So I'm like, all right, let me see if he wants to give me a free life with this before I start attacking with cracker. Because I can get one attack through before I have to use my cracker here. But here's the thing. I actually just want to play Linlin. But looking back, it's one of those things where it's like, I probably should have gone for game there, to be completely honest. However, if I don't get game there, you know, he can just beat me this turn. I don't know. It's one of those situations where it really just depends. He swings for 6. I'm going to counter out. Okay, just leave. You know, if that was your game plan, there's no way to get out of it. Like, yeah, he's gonna eat at my board a little bit, but I do have a 12K on the board. And I was able to block out of that attack there. He has 1 Dawn active. Oh, man. Okay, let's see if I can get a counter out of his hand. It didn't work. So I get a Linlin. There goes your last life. I'm going to swing 6 and then 12. GG. Okay. Using Linlin as a way to, like, KO your opponent's last life is actually just so strong. Very, very strong. Okay, guys. So here's the last game. This is versus Zoro. Let me go ahead and go speed 2x. There we go. All right, so Zoro is actually probably our best matchup. We have lots of triggers. We have ways to gain life. We don't care about attacking our opponent's life. We're not really on a clock. So, and there is a decent amount of removal. There's not a ton of removal in Linlin, but there is a decent amount where you can take advantage. So I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm not going to attack life, so my Gadatsus are going to be able to hit anything in the game. Okay, play Parasparrow, pass. Do not attack Zoro under any circumstance unless you have to attack him to gain life. Like if there's no targets on the board to attack and you're at 1 life or less or whatever. Okay, so next turn I just know I'm playing Gadatsu. There's almost no other option here. I'm like, okay, I have to take this. And I get a nice trigger there. Drop a Linlin. Linlin is not actually that great against Zoro. It's not that it's bad. It's just you don't really get an opportunity to play it. Okay, so I'm on 6. Again, I'm starting to feel pretty confident here. Like, okay, let's see. All right, let's see what he does. I gain a life, by the way. That was the whole point of that. So there goes my Gadatsu plan. I can't even do Gadatsu now, but because I have to gain life because of how aggressive the Zoro start was. No big deal. So I'm like, okay. Wow, I can't believe he countered out of that. He could have got 2 cards from that. But at the same time, I have full board control. He wants to keep the gas on. Because if he attacks into my Parasparrow, who cares, right? I draw a card from that. If he attacks into my Cracker, it's a 6K, so it's easier to save. Swings in here, swings in here. I'm like, okay, do I want to like just counter out of this? And the answer is yes. Okay. I'm deciding, I'm like, oh man, I really don't want to lose this KO effect, but I also don't want to lose this blocker that's going to cycle me 2 cards. That was the right play, of course, because I can just gain a life here. Okay, so swing 8 here, I think, at him. Yeah, swing 8, gain a life with leader effect. He's down. Only have 3 Dawn left for the turn, but again, this Cracker attack. So he actually counters out of that, and it's like, okay, well, you're not going to save this card, right? There's pretty much no way you're going to save this card. So, sure, if you want to give me all your cards from hand to try and save that so I don't have to attack your life, I will always, always take that trade. Now he's in the situation that every Zoro finds himself in when you actually get a decent pull as Linlin. You know, you don't get a bad pull, they don't get the perfect pull. It's like, okay, bud, you are not going... He might have had a jet pistol trigger there, I'm not sure. So I don't need to gain life with the leader because I can drop my Linlin here, and now he's on basically a 1 or 2 turn clock here. He has to make something happen right now. I'm at 2 life. It doesn't matter what he plays. Okay, so swing 5. I'm obviously going to counter out of this. I'm like, okay, what do you have for 10 Dawn? You know, what does Zoro play these days that has 10 Dawn? Is he about to drop a Whitebeard or something, or a Newgate, I mean? In which case, why didn't you play that first? And it's Rush Luffy. I did not foresee this. And here we are. Sure, I'll take that every single time. Let me pause real quick. Look what it would have been. He would have gave me another attack with Satori. He only had 1K in hand. There was a 2K and a 1K coming out of his life. But it doesn't matter. Because, like, once I get Satori down, from him attacking in and taking it. Like, okay, so Satori goes into play. So now I'm just going to swing. And again, he only has 2 life. So I'm just going to swing, what? I can go 3, 3, and 4. So I'll swing 8, 8, 9, 12. There's just no way out of it. All right, guys, that was it for my games. I just ran through 7 games real quick. This was just the last games I had recorded. I'll probably record more in the future. And if I do record more, it'll probably be Blue-Black Rebecca, because I actually want to start playing Rebecca again soon, especially in OP06 when we get a little more support, and like with Gecko Moria and whatnot. But got a lot of video ideas in the future. But that's it for this one, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Were there any play mistakes you saw that I might have missed? Y'all help me out in the comment section below if I did. And yeah, that's it, guys. Till next time. Peace.